Well guys, today I'm going to make a video that is very hard for me to make. We're going to talk about my portfolio, and if I was forced to sell 5 stocks out of that portfolio, what 5 stocks would I pick to sell out of my portfolio, okay? So I hope you guys enjoy this. Make sure you smash the thumbs up button. Make sure you leave a comment down there for the algorithm. And okay, so we're looking at my public account here. This is available, by the way, in my private stock market membership group. If you're interested in joining my private stock market membership group, check out the link that is in the description, okay? That will tell you all about it. But needless to say, everybody in the stock group gets to see exactly every single move I make. And if we're looking at this account, we have 11 stocks. You can count them up there. We own 11 stocks, so I have to sell off almost half of the portfolio if we're selling 5 stocks. And this is hard because I love all these stocks. I mean, if I didn't like the stocks, I wouldn't have money in them, okay? I would just like burn the money or something like that. Like, I love every single one of these stocks, which is why I own every single one of these stocks. But if you're forcing me to sell 5, which is a very tough decision, you know, it's easiest for me at least to start out with what I wouldn't sell, okay? So there are 3 automatics that I would not sell in this portfolio, okay? One is being Facebook there, the other is being Skyworks Solutions, and the other is Tesla. Those are the 3 stocks that in this portfolio I'm not selling, okay? I'm just not selling those 3. Facebook, there's no way I'm selling Facebook stock. Why? Because that probably gives me the best risk-reward profile of almost any stock in the stock market. Like, risk on Facebook is almost like super minimum, and reward potential is still huge with Instagram continuing to pull in advertisers, more and more advertising money, ad rates going up, what they have with WhatsApp there over time in their messaging products. There's so much potential still for Facebook. I call it the young Google, okay? So the risk reward is so attractive for me in relation to Facebook stock. There's no way I'm selling that stock, okay? There's no way I'm selling Skyworks Solutions stock. The opportunity that company has with 5G, the great balance sheet there, the great management team, the unbelievable profitability, and the fact that I think it's an undervalued stock, even though we're up over 15% on it. There's just no way I'm selling out of Skyworks Solutions position, okay? And Tesla, I mean, you guys know what I think, you know, Tesla's going to do over the next 5 to 10 years. There's no way I'm going to sell out the opportunity to be the, you know, the premier electric car company, and as well as the self-driving company in the future. There's just no way I'm selling that stock. So that's easy for me there, okay? The 3 stocks I'm absolutely not selling are those 3, Facebook, Skyworks Solutions, and Tesla, okay? Now it gets a little more hard. So now we got to think about, okay, let me think about 2 stocks that are the easiest sells for me. And if I'm thinking about the 2 stocks that are easiest sells, it's Nordstrom and it's Tapestry. These 2 companies are somewhat similar. They're clothing companies, I guess you can say, well, accessory companies, whatever you want to call it, okay? Nordstrom's a high-end retailer. They sell high-end products, all right? And that's a pretty easy sell for me there. We're up over 11% on it. I love it for the dividends, and I would hate to sell this stock, and I wouldn't want to sell the stock, but once again, I'm forced to sell 5 stocks, let's say, in this situation. So JWN, I would sell out of that one, okay? And Tapestry, they own Coach Brand, Kate Spade, Stuart Weitzman. You know, we've made 26+% in a matter of a few months on that stock, and that's one I could say, you know, I love making the dividend money. Nordstrom and Tapestry, I love making the dividend investing cash flow from those stocks. But if I had to sell some stocks, you know, I would sell those 2 first and foremost, okay? Now, from there, I would probably sell ELF, okay? ELF's probably my next sell. I would sell after that. Why ELF? Well, we're up 147+% on our remaining shares. We've already started selling some ELF shares, and the company's getting closer and closer to that $1 billion valuation, which is a valuation I thought going in when I researched this company, when I did all my, you know, DD, the due diligence behind the stock, and kind of where I foresaw the stock going over time, I thought this company had a great probability of getting back to being a $1 billion market cap company. It's getting closer and closer to being there pretty much week after week. And so if I'm looking at a stock that I say, you know what, I'll sell this stock, it would end up being ELF shares. I don't want to sell out of it, but once again, I'm in this scenario, I'm forced to sell 5 stocks. I would sell out of ELF, and I would just take that huge profit. We've already taken 5 figures worth of profits on ELF, and we would take another $11,825 of profit there with ELF on a shelf, okay? So now we're up to 3 stocks absolutely I would not sell, and 3 stocks I would sell, okay? So we have 2 more stocks to figure out here that I would sell. And the next one up would probably be Uber. And gosh, you know, I believe a lot in Uber. I believe it's one of the most disruptive companies literally in the world, and I believe they're going to continue to disrupt industries in the future. And I believe will be a company that makes huge profits in the future, okay? And I just started buying this stock pretty recently. The last thing I want to do is sell out. But if I'm forced to cut down the portfolio, I'll probably cut down on a position like Uber, especially way before I would cut down on a position like Tesla, just for the mere fact of Tesla, I think, has more upside potential than an Uber. And I think it potentially has even a little less risk because Tesla's much closer to profitability than Uber. Uber is still many, many years away from profitability. Tesla, on the other hand, there's a high likelihood that Tesla could be profitable in 2020. It's not a for sure thing, but there's a decent probability that Tesla could be profitable on the net income line in 2020. Uber, there's no way they're going to be profitable in 2020, okay? Maybe 2022 or 2023 will be the first years that Uber actually has a positive net income. It's going to be quite a while with Uber, so if I'm forced to sell some stocks, the stock number 4 I would probably sell there would be Ubity Booba, and we'd take a 7.7% gain, make $1,600 in the stock, and we would say, c'est la vie, Uber, we love you, bye-bye, okay? So that's 4 stocks now. And so now I got to think about, okay, what are some other stocks I absolutely wouldn't sell? And here are some stocks I absolutely wouldn't sell, okay? Cirrus Logic, I just can't see myself selling that stock even if I was forced to. I mean, that's an audio chip supplier. I think they still have huge growth. You look at it, we're up over $15,000 on this stock. You say, why not just take profits? I think it has a lot more upside in future years. So it's not a position I'm willing to go ahead and sell out of, okay? Fizzy Get Dizzy, another stock. I don't want to sell out of that stock. It's a drink maker. I love a consistent business model like that. The dividends, they usually pay once a year dividends around November, December timeframe. So they probably continue to do that, I would assume. And I just think that category that they're in, number 1 or number 2 player there long term, and I think they just have huge growth potential still to come, over the next, let's say 5 or 10 years. So I'm not selling out of Fizzy Dizzy. And so that leaves us with 2 potential sells here. Either iRobot or Winning Resorts. And this is a tough one, okay? iRobot I just started buying very recently. Winning Resorts I've been buying for a little bit now. We don't have it as too big of a position, but this is really tough. If I had to sell one of those, I would probably sell good old iRobot, okay? The reason being is Wynn Resorts, I love it for the cash flow. I love it for the consistency in that business model. And, it pays me like 3.5% of my money or 4% of my money at worth of dividend money, right? iRobot, it doesn't pay any dividends, and it's really hard to replicate a company like Wynn, right? iRobot, it's also a hard company to replicate because they have the brand name in robotic vacuum cleaners, but you have all these Chinese knockoffs and different products like that. It definitely is a risk, I guess you can say, to the business model. Wynn Resorts, you can't just like up and build a $4 billion resort like Wynn Resorts does, okay? You can't just take away their mass amounts of customers that are, super high-end VIP players and whatnot. You can't just replicate that overnight. This is something that's, ridiculously hard to do. Building a robotic vacuum cleaner, on the other hand, it's a little easier, I guess you can say, than building a $4 billion resort, needless to say. So if I was forced to sell out of one of those positions, I would sell the iRobot there, okay? Which is definitely, a tough thing, but I love that cash flow Wynn Resorts provides, okay? Now, if we look at this, if we look at the portfolio, even if we sold out of those stocks, something that's very interesting here is it was still a pretty diversified portfolio. So you look at the 6 stocks remaining here, and 6 stocks isn't the most diversified certainly, but it's still relatively diversified. So we have an audio chip player, right, in smartphones and tablets and things like that. We have young Google, I like to call them, which is Facebook, right, which is obviously, where people spend their time. You have Fizzy Get Dizzy, which is a drink maker, all right. You have Skyworks Solutions, which is similar to Cirrus Logic in the respect that they're both semiconductor companies, but they produce very different products, very, very different products, and Skyworks Solutions has some unbelievable opportunities in 5G ahead of itself, okay? You have Tesla, which is obviously an electric car company, and obviously, self-driving vehicles and potentially autonomous taxi networks down the road, things like that. The solar business as well, we'll see what happens with the solar business. So very diversified there. And then Winning Resorts, which is obviously, a huge huge resort company, particularly in the gaming spaces in Las Vegas, Macau. Now they have a property out in Boston. So if you're looking at that portfolio, it's still very, very diversified for being 6 stocks. I mean, it's hard to diversify among 6 stocks, but they're very different industries. And so I wouldn't like to sell any of those stocks, but if you told me, Jeremy, you have to sell 5 of those stocks, those are the 5 stocks I would sell, okay? Now, I would love to hear from you guys in that comment section on, do you think I would have made the right moves if I sold out of those 5 stocks? If I was forced to sell out of those 5, which 5 would you sell out of if you had to sell out of, let's say, 5 stocks in that particular portfolio? I would love to hear from you guys in that comment section as always, and I think this is a good exercise to go through with your own portfolio every once in a while. Go through your own portfolio and think about, if I was forced to sell 2 stocks out of this portfolio, what are my 2 weakest positions? Because then you get in your mind, what are your actual weakest positions versus your strongest positions, and you can kind of put them against each other and say, I can't sell out of this stock, and then you kind of get a better idea like, wow, this is really why this is such a good investment for me, and you know what, this one over here, maybe it's not as good of an investment as I once thought it was, okay? So do this exercise on your own portfolio every once in a while, and let me know the 5 stocks that you would sell out of in that comment section, okay? Thank you for watching. Have a great day.